Okay, welcome to day 20, and I apologize for the delay in today's stream. Okay, so for today, we'll be looking at, we'll be taking, or we'll be solving, let me say so, the weekly assignments. And this is not the only solution. What I'm about to type is not the only solution. It's just one of the ways to do it, or how I will do it. And so there are other ways that you can do this assignment. Just that this is how I think through it and how I will write my code if I were to solve it. Okay, so let us quickly jump into Python where we will write our solution. I have created 3 files here, and you can see it's my cursor. Sorry about that. You can see week 1. The one did not come, but I intended to make it week 1, week 2, and then week 3. So let me quickly rename this file to week 1. Okay, so we are all there now, week 1, week 2, and then week 3. So we'll be looking at the solutions, the questions first, and then we have the question here. This was our week 1 assignment. We bring it full screen. And it was quite simple. We were to create a currency converter. So the program first asks the user for to input an amount in United States dollars, and then stores the input variable, and then converts the amount to a local currency, and then prints out the converted amount. So let's see how that one goes. We'll be referring to this document and then Python back and forth so that we keep ourselves on track. So, or maybe I can try and put them side by side. I don't think that would be visually good for you. And so I'll have to be looking at both at the same time, switching windows. So ask the user for an amount in US dollars. So I can bring a comment here. Question 1. So maybe I can say money and set that to be equal to input, and then here I'll say enter an amount in USD. Okay, and then what the script tells us to do is that we should store it in an input variable, which we have already done because this money will store the input. So that second part is also catered for. And then we have to convert the amount to a local currency. And so, okay, I can wrap it with an int here, you already know, but I will not do it this way. I'll do it down there. So I can say conversion rate, which is the rate for the conversion if I choose a value like 10. And then I can now say that converted money, that should be equal to the money that we have up there multiplied by the conversion rate. Okay, and then we can go ahead and then print in an F string the converted amount. And then let me just pick this suggestion. But I know that this will not really work unless it will work but not give us what you are looking for unless we convert this to an integer. Other than that, if you enter 10 here, it will multiply the 10 by 10, literally. So if I try it out, you see what I'm talking about. Okay, yes, they will minimize this so much. And if I put 10 here, so that it will just print 10 times. And so we have to convert this to an integer or even a float, more precise, because the person can enter some values with floating points. So now it will prompt me again. If I enter 10, it will make it 100 for me. So that is it about the week 1, question 1 assignment. Just so simple, nothing so special. And so what I'll do is I'll comment them out so that they don't disturb us for the question 2. And so for the question 2, let's go and see what it was about. It's a simple interest rate calculator. So what we're supposed to do is to ask the user for the inputs, the principal amount, rate of interest, and the time period. And store these inputs in variables. Great. And then calculate the simple interest formula using this formula that has been given. And so let's go back and see. Permit me to copy some stuff from here. Let me see. Principal, rate, and time. Okay, I remember it. So principal, that should be equal to input. What is your principal? Permit me to accept it. Interest, what is your interest? And then rate, what is your rate? Okay. The goal is not for you to look at me type. We are just trying to get some values in here. And so for this one, I'll convert it to a float directly. So I know that I don't have to do the conversion down there. The interest also into a float. And then the rates. No, I don't think it's the rates. Oh, this is supposed to be time. Sorry, the time. And then what is the duration? And so, and now the rates also to be a float. The time is a float because it can be 1.5 years, so that should be 1.5. And then the formula was given to us here. The simple interest equal to principal times rate times time, but we have to bring the parentheses, the brackets. So I can say simple interest. Oh, sorry, I forgot to update the banner. But if you have a question, please be sure. And I forgot also to update the overlay. Sorry about that. So sorry. It's not the 19, it is the 20. Okay, now we are all good to go. If you have a question, I'm monitoring the stream, so just put it there. And that should be equal to, you have the bracket, so that will be principal multiplied by the rate, also multiplied by the time, all of them divided by 100. And then now we can print in an F string the simple interest value is, and then here we plug in simple interest. Okay, so that is all for the question 2 for week 1. Nothing so special here. The principal, let's say 100. The duration, let's make that 1. And then the rates to be 2. So that will be 100 times 1, which is 100 times 2, which is 200 times, all divided by 100. So that should give us like 2. Yeah. So we know that this code is also working correctly. So that is it for the question 2 for week 1. But I'm trying to, in all the questions, the solutions I'll provide, I'll try not to go ahead of what we had learned at that particular time. But if you also went on ahead to do some search for the assignments, which was something that I did not explicitly state, but I was expecting you to do, in the cases where you think it's difficult, you can do an internet search for for a solution. And so in the cases where you did an internet search, you know also that you can just consolidate all these 3 lines into one, maybe say something like principal times time, sorry, not comma, time, comma, rate. That should be equal to input. And then here you tell the user to input them separated by a comma or a colon, anything that you can use for splitting, and then you could have splitted them on those on that particular split character also. So that is it for week 2. Question 2 for week 1 also. And then the next question also says that it's a BMI calculator. So we are asking the user to input their weight in kilogram. We are also asking the user to input their height in meters and then store these variables, calculate the BMI using the formula that has been given. I'm sorry if the connection went off a bit. I switched network. That is why. So let's get back to Python. I've not done anything. It's just where we ended. So here will be question 3. And then we are asking the user for weight and height. So weight, just hope I got the spelling right. Weight equal to, and then input your weight. Okay. And then height equal to input your height. But I still also want to cast this one to float so that the computation down there will be easier. Another one, let me cast it to a float. And then here I can say that the BMI, let's check the formula that we were given. That is the weight over the height squared. So let's go ahead and calculate it. You can say that the BMI equal to the weight divided by height times height. And then we can print and say in an F string, the BMI value is, and then we can pass in our BMI. Okay. So nothing so difficult here. Let's just test this one too and see. Input weight, if I put 10, and then let's say a height of 5, then I should be expecting that to be 10 divided by 25. Should be around 0.4 or something like that. Yeah, 0.4. Let me try it again. I think my calculation was off for the first one. And then let's just pick the same 10, which is for the weight. And then this time around, let's pick 2 for the height. That should be, yep, because this one will evaluate to 2 times 2, which is 4. And so if you divide 10 by 4, you get 2.5. Okay, so that is also all for the week 1 assignment. This is the last question that we did. So nothing so special about it. Just some easy input-output stuff. And so we'll move on to the week 2 assignment if there are no questions on the week 1. That should be at this side. Okay, so the question 1 for week 2 also is very, very simple, which is a simple multiplication table. So a Python program that displays a multiplication table, the program should ask the user for the number they want to use for the multiplication table. And then we have to end at a particular number that is given times 12. And then the output should look like the one below if 4 is the number. So that should also be easy for us to do. So that one too, we can come here and say question 1. And then we can say number equal to float. No, this is an integer, so we can say integer and then input, enter a number, and then we can say that print your multiplication table is below, or something like that. You didn't even, you don't have to, you do not have to type something like this. I just want to um, make it nicer. So for I in, or for number, for I said number, so I can't use number again. So let me just use for I in a range of 1. You know, we are starting from 1 and we are ending at what's it, 12. So that should be 13 here because it is n plus 1. And then I can say print, and then I say in an F string will be better, and I can say number, not the number, or which one comes first? Is it the number that we took or the, okay. So that will be number times, and then I can plug in I here, and I can set it equal to number multiplied by I. So this was it for our loop, and that, let's see. So if I enter the number 4, I should see that it gives me the table from 4 by 1 up to 4 by 12, just like the instruction told us to do. So nothing so difficult about this one, also just as simple as this. If I actually remove this, which I'm using to decorate it, I turn out to have just 3 lines of code. Okay, so let us proceed to the question 2, which I'll do by commenting this one out first. And so if we inspect the question 2, when I was analyzing stuff, I found out that this should be the most difficult one that you have ever encountered. I see it's even more difficult than the with 3 assignments, but it's not so difficult. The question was structured in such a way that if you don't apply the algorithmic thinking process, you find it difficult to solve this question. The instructions are a little bit not straight to the point, but if you look at it in a whole and try to solve the whole or the big problem at once, then you get some problems along the way. But if you break it down, do the things one by one, you know that it is not difficult at all. So let us see how we can solve this one also. So the general overview is that we should create a book library with keys as author names and values as list of books. Okay. A list of book titles. And then we ask the user for the author or book they are searching for. And then we use a for loop to iterate the dictionary. If the author name or book title matches the user's input, we list the relevant information about the book. And then that is it for the tasks. But for here, we also told that we should allow adding of new books. And so apart from the book search, there should also be that flexibility to add books to our book library. And this is how the recommendation is done. So this place is telling us that, okay, when the user searches for a book, your program should look through all the keys and values in the dictionary and find an item matching the user's query. If no entry is found, you can say there is no such book in our library. And so what this place is telling us is that we should allow the searching with both author names and book titles. And so this is actually not part of the assignment. It's just telling you what to do at some point, that is during the searching algorithm. So the main stuff here are the 2 things, which is the search and then the addition. So let's just start with the search and see how that one goes. This place will be question 2. And then so we, I don't want to stress the tutorial, so I already have a dictionary of some popular Python books. And so I would like us to use that for our book library for now. Let me paste that one in. So this is a library of our books, some very popular Python books. And so for space, I'll collapse this for now. You know that the keys are the author names and then their values are there. So Now we have to take a query from the user, which we can set it to be equal to input, and then we can ask, are you searching for a book or adding one? And then we can say A is for, sorry, that should be on a new line. So \n, we say A is for searching, and then another \n, and then B. Let me bring this one down. B is for adding. I don't need the book. And then I can bring another \n so that that is where the user will type their text. So this is just so to say that it will take the user to a new line so that the prompt will not be attached to the add-in. So the value that the user will type will be at a new line. And so after we take the query from the user, let's first work on the searching. So the suggestion is correct. If query equal to A, or in the case where we want to catch the lower cases, you know that you can convert this to lower. So that if the user enters an uppercase A, we'll still catch it, but we're still keeping things very, very simple. And then we can now say that if the person is searching, we have to now take another search query. So you can say a search underscore query. That should be equal to inputs. Don't like the suggested text in there. And then here will be, let's say, enter author name or book title. So enter author name or book title. Okay. And here we now perform our search through the dictionary. So if search query in books, but in books.keys, we first want to search by the key. So that the keys are the author name. So if what the person entered is in the list of authors, then we want to fetch it and bring out the information about the book. And so here we can say if the search query, like if what the person typed is an author name, then we can print, let's say found book is equal to books and then search query, because this will get us the value of the book also. We already have the author, so we have to get the book also by this. This I know, this is the syntax to get an item from a dictionary using the key. So this search query will become the key, which is the author name, and then that will give us the book title also. And then I can print here that in an F string, I can say, I found your book. And then, but I want to bring it to a new line and say, this should have, okay, it's an F string. So on the new line, I want to say maybe book title written by book author, something like that. So I can say books. And then here I can say search query. And then say written by, and then the author is now the search query. So I can say search query. So this should not be confusing at all. We already have the books here by names, author names as keys, and books as values. The query is asking if we are searching or adding. In the case where we are searching, this is only the functionality for searching by the author, which is a quite straightforward one. So we will test our code and see with a valid input, and then see if we get the expected result. So let me run this one again. And then now you see that I can add it. That's why I added a \n after the adding, so that my prompt will be on the next line. Or to even make it more nice, because the user will not know to click there. So I can now say your choice. And then so that is where the user will type. Okay, so my choice is A, and so it says enter the book title. I already copied it, so I'll paste it. And you see that now it says I found your book, Learning Python, written by Mark Latz, if I had the name, the pronunciation right. So that's what it was able to get us the value using the key, and that is what we are looking for. So that is the first part of it. The second part is to be able to also get the particular book by the title. So in the case where the person doesn't know the author, yeah, the person can get by the title. So let's see how that one too goes. Oh, why do I forget to add the banner? But if you're watching this later on YouTube, or if you want to rewatch it, I'll try to divide the video into chapters, so it should be easier for you to follow if the banner is even misleading. And the second one is to get by the author. So that's what the recommendation says, that if you want to recommend a book, recommend based on titles or author names. So let's go to the book title and see how that one too goes. Um, okay, I'll close this. I mistakenly clicked on that one. And so I can now say leave search query in books.values like it is giving me. So I'll accept that. That is, but you know that the dictionary is created in such a way that this is where it makes the work. I saw that it makes the work difficult, but it's also it's good when the assignments are challenging, so they really put your algorithmic thinking process to test and sharpen it for you, which is a very great necessity for being a good developer, or even being able to, or being a person that has very strong solutions for any life problem that you will encounter, because of the way you analyze stuff and come up with solutions using the algorithmic thinking process. You know that the dictionary in Python is created so that it looks just like an ordinary word dictionary, like the actual word dictionary. So even if you cannot have multiple keys. If I try to put a key here called flat, sorry, and then I put here something else, immediately Python will not even let me run my code. It will tell me something. So let's see what the underline is saying. Dictionary contain duplicate keys. So that is not it. You cannot put duplicate keys there. So just like the regular word dictionary or dictionary of words, even if you have a word that has multiple meanings, the meanings will be attached to that word. You'll not find the same word in two different places. That is not just possible. So we can only get the details of that particular entry by the key. But here we are searching by query. So if we pass in the search query as a key, then it means we are rather using the value as a key, which is not the case, because in the case where we try to solve it like this one, in case I copy this and then paste it here, what will happen is that now if I type learning Python, Python will assume that learning Python is a key and not a value, and then it will return 0. So if we try to repeat whatever is here, let me just copy and paste it, because we delete it. That's not how the logic is. And then C. And then let's bring our else statement so that it will catch it in the case where it doesn't fulfill it. And what did we say we should type? There is no such book in your dictionary. So print, and then there is no such book in the library or dictionary library. Let me choose library for now. So we know that only one of these conditions will render. So if we already know from the previous example that if you pass in the correct author name to give us the book. So let's pass in now the book itself and see whether we will get the details of the book, or that we see that no book exists in our dictionary. My choice is still A, and then I put in the learning Python. And then now you see that it didn't even print the else. It's telling us that there's a key error. We are trying to find an item by a key that does not exist in our dictionary, and that particular key is learning Python. So we know that we have to find this book in another way. So how can we find it with a value? Well, Python doesn't bring any. I've not yet discovered any way we can just call a value or a key or an item in a dictionary just by the value without having to manually invent the wheel ourselves by writing our own logic. So because I need the book key to search for the book, I can now declare a variable, a dummy one, say book key, or I can just name it key, and then set that one to be an empty string for now. And then I can now say that for key, comma value, can say I, comma j in book.items, and I can now say if key is equal to search query, then book key is equal to key. Then book key is equal to key. And I don't think my logic here is so complex that you don't understand. In fact, I just know that you have realized that it's quite simple. And this thing, how did I come up with this? Well, I know the basics of Python itself, and I know that's fine. I can get the items. And when I print book.items, you know from previous examples that it will, let me just print it here. So print books.items and then run it. Okay, I will not do the rest. Let me. You see that it's a list of, if I reformat this thing properly. Cast it to a list even before. You see that it's a list of tuples, so I can actually say for x comma y in this tuple, which so that x will be for the first and then y will be for the second one. So that is what I'm implementing here. Nothing so difficult or too new. It's just the regular stuff that we have already learned before. So for key value in this, so if that key is equal to what the user has typed, then let the book key equal to that. So in that case, we will be able to get the key of that particular book. No, I think there's an error here. A value rather equal to set query, because we are setting by the value, not the key. So for key value in that, so it will map all the key value pairs. And if you found out that one of the values in those items it is iterating over is equal to the same search query you're having, then this book key that you have declared up here will be assigned the value of the key of that particular value. And then so after that, we have it that way. We can come down and then now say, outside of the loop, say print. I found your book. Where is that? I think I can still borrow from here. Found your book, and then that will be books key, book key. This one will be book key rather, written by, and this time it will also be book key because the book key now becomes the author. So let us run our code now and see. Stop and rerun. What are you doing? I am searching. Do I still have it in memory? No, I don't. Okay, so that there's no such book in our library. I thought I had that in memory, so I pasted it. So let me get any of the book authors here. Maybe this one. So it should be returned done, buzzer for us if everything works well. Let me run it. I am adding, sorry, I'm searching, sorry, and I pasted this one in. Since I found a book, Python Tricks, a buffet of awesome Python features written by Dan Bada. And if we go ahead and check, you will see that that is also true. And so this is how I will go about the solution for week two's question 2. Yes, I know for this part that you're supposed to search by value probably was very tough for you, but this is how I'll implement the solution. There are 1,001 ways to do this. Your solution might be different from mine. As long as it works, there's no problem with that. But that is my solution for this particular problem. And we know that we have yet one more thing to do. So I'll collapse this part. We know it all works. And then I can say a leaf query equal to B. Then now we are adding. And then we can say this one will be a search query. I'll rather make it an add query. We are not searching, we are adding. So that will be equal to input and enter author name and book title. But I want to take it all as one. So I will say author name and book title separated by comma. And then after it is added, I will now add it. And the syntax, is quite simple. So I can say that now, but I have to get them, the two. So author, and then book. That should be equal to add query dot split. And what do I want to split it on? I want to split it on the comma because that's what will be added for us. And then I can say books author equal to book. That is to add it. And then in order for us to know whether the book was added or not, maybe we can say we can decide to print all the books that are now in our library to see if anyone has been added. So I can say print. Then your updated book list. So your updated book list, this should be a string. And then I can say for okay, let me take this suggestion for key value in book.items print. And then I can say the value now will come first. So in an F string, I can say value, which is the book written by key. So the key is now the author. And then I can run and test this thing now and see. So now I am adding, so it's a B, enter book name and author. So author will be author, just to keep things simple. And you can see the title is an awesome book title. So we now know that here we have the last one here is awesome book title written by author. We know for sure that that is not part of our dictionary when we inspect it up here. The last one is the one by Z Ashaw. Or even to make it more readable, maybe that's why I don't want to accept this one for now, but I can say for value in book.items, print value. That we see them as tuples rather. And so here I am adding and say author awesome author, and then the title is an awesome book title. So we know here that that's been added. Forgive me for my typos. And so that one too has been added. So that is it. We have also been able to add books to our dictionary, and then we have fulfilled the recommendation, the search, which searches book by book title and author name. Okay, so that is also the solution to the week 2 assignment. In fact, this is in a very simple form. We are not really catching errors for where the person does not enter exactly this. That is uppercase for uppercase, lowercase for lowercase. And also for the search, as at that time in week 2, our understanding was not up to that point. So that's why I'm trying to keep things as simple at this level. But if you want to take this further and make it a very complex search, book search, you may want to catch instances for partial search or even full search. Even the full search, you can catch instances for when the person types all in lowercase or not. But that one will require us to go in with the more nested loops, the searching for lowest and all that. So I will not do that in this video, but you can implement it at your end. So that is also my solution for the week 2 assignment in the very simplest of forms. Okay, is there any question or I can move on to week 3? That was the last one. Okay, so there are no questions, so I'll move on to the week 3 assignment. Here we have a secure password generator. And so the program was supposed to generate passwords for us based on user input. So we're told to either use list or strings to store character sets, and then using a Python function that accepts relevant arguments, generate a random password based on the user specified password length and the user chosen character types. And then we're supposed to also implement a validation input for secure password requirements, i.e. So this place is just saying that if you allow the user the flexibility to choose between the length and the types of characters they want to implement in their password. And then the D says that a function that checks password strength and makes suggestions for improvement based on password length and the variety of character sets included. So let us go once again to PyCharm and see how easy this one is to implement. So we'll try to implement the steps one after the other. So first store all our character sets in strings. I'll choose strings. You can use list. And then we will declare our function also. And then see how we can implement the generation here. That will be in week 3. Lesson 1. And so I have prepared them. The goal is not for you to be seeing me type all of them. So I'll just bring up my string of characters here. So this is all of them. At least I try to keep it simple. I think this is all that is in the Unicode space. Maybe not all, but this is at least it covers 0 up to 9, which is all numbers, and lowercase alphabets, uppercase alphabets, and these are the symbols also. You see that I try to escape the double quote here because the double quote itself is actually a symbol also. So in order to escape it, because I'm using the strings here, the double quote to also define the string. If I use single quotes, there's also single quotes here. So I had to escape this character. I could have also used triple quotes at the beginning and ending, but I prefer this way rather. And so now that you have all symbols, these characters, we can also have one for all symbols. So we can say all symbols, and that should be equal to the addition of all of them. So I will just accept this. I think I didn't add the numbers. Okay, so when we print it out, it just be a long string having all of these ones inside. Now, to the function, we are done with the first part, which says we should use a list of string to store it. And then now a Python function that accepts relevant arguments. The relevant arguments, I think because of this, the way the question was structured, we may need to take in the length and the character type. So let's implement that one also. So define, generate password, and then it takes in the length, and then of course it will be an integer, and then and then character set or character set, something like that, or even characters. And so initially the password will be empty. So I will take this suggestion, such a brilliant one, and then I can now say for say I in range of length plus one to length plus one, because you know that it will end at n. If I put in 10, it will end at 9, but I want 10 as the user specified. So, but if you want to randomly generate stuff, there is this library that comes with Python that will be of great help to us. If you did an internet search on how to do that, that would have popped up easily. So we call import random. Okay. And here we can say that the password is now not plus equal to, because we want to keep the old state and add new state. So plus equal to random, not range, random dot choice. And then this one will return if we hover over it. Fetching documentation. Use a random element from a non-empty sequence. So that is it. So it will choose a random element from any of the character sets that we passed with. So of course, character set. And then here we can return the particular password. Okay. So we are done with the function also. That is the second part. And the third part says implement input validation for secure passwords. So we have to ask the user for password length and character set to use. Okay. Let's do that one. So we can say here that password length, did I get it spelled right? That should be equal to integer, it will already be converted. So integer input enter, or let me say, how long should the password be? And then I can here say chosen characters. Let that one be equal to this one. We have to ask the person whether they want to use only numbers, only lowercase, only uppercase, or symbols, or all of the elements in there. So it will be an input, not an input. But here, let me just type it and explain it as I go. So how or what character set would you like to use? Character. What is wrong with it? And then here, I would rather bring stuff to the next line, because we have to pass in numbers only, lowercase only, uppercase only, and then all of the above. So I would not like to waste your time. Let me get it here from my solution and then paste stuff in. The goal is not to for you to watch me type. So I made it here like this. 1 is for numbers only, and then 2 is for lowercase letters only, 3 is for uppercase letters only, and 4 is for all of the above. And then you know that here we can see your choice. You get the person's choice. Okay, so that is it. This one to get all the chosen character, the specific chosen character for us. And then we can say if chosen character, this English, because it's only one that will be chosen. So chosen character is 1. Then what I want to do is call the generate password, pass in the length, which is the password length, and then passing the character set. But for the first one, it will only be numbers. So that should be. Forgive me, I like to reformat my file. That should be numbers. I think that's how we named it. And then I can print, or should I return it? Okay, print. Rather, we are not returning. It's not in a function. So in an F string, you see your password is, and then here you have to say maybe password. Are we using it somewhere else? Password equal to, and then here you can say your generated password is password. Okay, and then we can repeat the process for when it is one that is selected, 2, 3, and 4. So I'll go ahead and duplicate just to save time. The goal is not for you to watch me type a lot of stuff. So this will be 2, and this is, if it is 3, and we have 4 here. So yes, we can go ahead and check this. By this, we have to do some changes in here. If chosen character is 2, the 2 is for only lowercase. So here you pass in lowercase, and this should be uppercase, and then this should be all symbols. So we can go ahead and try it out and see. So now let's run our code again and see. How long should the password be? I think there's a typo here. I'll go ahead and fix it. It's not how long. If I choose 5, which character sets I want to use, and let me choose lowercase values for now. You see that it tries to generate a random password for us based on what I selected alone. So let me go ahead here and first fix the how long. And if I try it again for, let's say, only numbers, should be able to, so it should be 10 in length, and then I want numbers only. So it's that it generates numbers only for me, which is 10. That is also great. So I know the rest will work, but let me try for the all characters and see. The password should be 10 in length, and then the choice is for all characters. Now you see that is more powerful password, just that there's no number in it. So this is it, our password. And the next item or the next task was to, sorry about that. This one unneeded one. The next task was to, so we are now at the D. So add a function that checks for password strength and makes suggestions for improvement based on password length and a variety of character sets included. So we can bring that one to app, and here say to define validate underscore password, which will take in the password, which will take in the password to be validated itself. So the password, and here we are checking it for the length and the variety of the characters. So we can say if password length, I think I'll take the suggestion of 8 because I stated here that the recommended practice in cybersecurity that's at least 8 characters and then all characters. So if password length is less than 8, here I will print password is too short. Make it more than 8 characters. Okay. And then if that is also not the case, characters. If that is also not the case, I'll bring this one down. In the case where password is more than 8, but has no other characters inside, or it has only numbers inside? Well, we can make the logic longer by checking if it is only numbers, if it is only lowercase, if it is only uppercase, and if it is only of his all characters also. But I think we should go ahead and do it. So else, then we are now performing other checks also. For character in password, if character not in, so we are implementing the first check where it is only number, so not in, sorry, not in, and the rest are lowercase, uppercase symbols. So lowercase, we can actually add them together as a lowercase plus uppercase plus symbols. Then it means it's only numbers. We can print that password contains only numbers, and that is not recommended. Okay. And then we can also try and then tell other things like \n. Try to add other characters. So this is in the case where the password is more than 8. I'm sorry if I have to. Let me try and then bring it down small. But still, it doesn't all fit in one page. Let me break this one to the next line. And then I can bring this one here. Okay. This is redundant. And then, so in the case where the password is more than 8, we are also checking if it is only numbers. And then here, okay, now we can return because it's only numbers. And then we can declare another for loop which checks if it is only lowercase, uppercase, or only symbol. So permits me to copy this here, another for loop. This second for loop will not render if this condition is true. Okay, maybe, no, it should not be another for loop because it will render. For character in password, if character displays, and then we can say a leaf, that was the proper term. So that should be character not in. Let me copy this line here, paste it here. By this case, we are checking for numbers, and then in the case where it's only lowercase, so lowercase will also not come in. So we can print here that character only contains only lowercase characters. I just hope this is not confusing. It shouldn't be confusing at all. If the password is less than 8, we tell the user that password is less than 8. It's too short. That one, whether it is, it comprises of all the characters, it is still too short. And so you should make it more than 8 characters. Then we return. If it is more than 8, and then we want to check if the characters in the password contain only numbers, alphabets, lowercase, or all characters. So we recommend based on each of them. So for every character in character, if this is the case, then render. If that is not, then render. Then this place we can also say a leaf. So I can go ahead and safely copy this. We are targeting the case for only uppercase. So I can put lowercase in place of uppercase so that uppercase will not be part of this things that we are iterating over. And then I can duplicate it but I should say uppercase here. Then I can duplicate it also for the symbols. So in that case, this place can be lowercase so that symbols will not be part. And then I can say it contains only symbols. Okay. So for every character in password, so then we will return. So what will happen if it is not only numbers, only uppercase, only symbol, and the rest? Then our else statement comes in. So else, we can print that the password is strong because it is more than 8 characters and contains all character sets. Okay, so password is more than 8 characters and contains all character sets. That will be our else statement, which I'll bring to the next line. And so if all of the above fails, that means that it's not only numbers, it's not only alphabet, it's not only this, then the password is a strong one. So that's quite a huge logic there, maybe, but that shouldn't still confuse at all. If it is 8, less than 8, return. Else, that is if it is more than 8. We want to iterate over each character, check if it is only numbers, then we say that it's only numbers, then we return. If it is only a lowercase, we say it's only lowercase and return. If it is only uppercase, we say it's only uppercase and we return. If it is only symbols, we say it's only symbols and return. Other than that, then it is containing all of them, then we can say it's a strong password. So I'll go ahead and then minimize this part. And then where we are printing our password, we can now go ahead and validate password. And then we can print validate password, and then we pass in the password. So this place to validate password, and we pass in the password. The same for this place. So validate password, then we pass in the password, and then validate password, we pass in the password. So we will run our code now and test it for all use cases. Let me see. How long should the password be? Let's just make it 5 and then choose all character sets. And then this is the password. You see that it contains all character sets. This was so great, but it's still too short. So the validation said it is too short. Let me rerun it. Choose 8 for now, and then 4, which is all character sets. And then, yes, the password was generated more than 8, but we see here that validation is telling us that it contains only lowercase characters, and that is not recommended. That is a bug we have to fix because it's not only lowercase characters. The only thing that is not present is I think it's no. There are symbols in there. There's number. There's an uppercase. So there's a logical error here for every character in password. Okay, I think my previous logic still holds. This place may have to get its own for loop. So what I'll do is that I'll cut it. Let's just try and see, maybe say for character in password, and then paste it down. So I have to do this should be if, not elif. Because if this condition is true, it will actually return. So that will not be a problem. Other than that, but that in that case, it will still return. But let's just bring this one to out and see. It's all part of the algorithmic thinking process. So for character in password, and here we can bring this one in, and then we'll also return. Then this print statement will come here. Okay, now we are looping over each of them. So let's just try this one to out and see. A password length of 8, which should contain all character sets. The password contains only numbers, and that is not recommended. So our logic here is wrong. At least we know that it is true for all of this side. So let me delete up to this point, and then we take it one at a time. So how do we know if the password only contains numbers? One of the ways I think we can go about it is if, and then let us put all characters in here. So characters, okay, I'm trying to, I don't want to type a lot of code, but I want to achieve something. So if for every character in the password, so let me see. Okay, so there's a keyword in Python that will be able to help us. There's a keyword, and that's the all keyword. Let me see. It's the all keyword. That one should it returns true if all the conditions in there are true. So let's now just say if once we return like this, we don't even need the else. I can say if all, and then if I hover over all, you see that it will, let's see the documentation. It's quite user friendly. But I know that it only returns true if all the containing returns true if all the values in there are true in the iterable, and it's if the iterable is empty, returns true. So in this case, we want to check using a comprehension if the for every character that is in the password is in a particular set of choices. So in the first one, we can say maybe character in numbers for character in password. So what this line is doing is that now let me just complete it and then I'll explain. So print password contains only numbers. For numbers, no, sorry, character in numbers. Add more variety. So if this condition inside the all renders to true for each of the character, then this will print out. So you know this as a comprehension. So we are saying for every character in numbers, for every character in password. So it will check each of the character in numbers. If that is also the same as this, then it means that all the password are numbers. And then we can repeat this for the case of the, so that should be an elif elif. And I think, should we return? I think we should return here. And then elif. Elif all character. Now we have to change it for lowercase. And then password contain only lowercase. And then I think we can copy this one, because the goal is not again for you to watch me type a lot of stuff. We have also for, oh, the return value is missing here. Return. And then after this, we also have to return. And this is for lowercase. This is for uppercase. Contains only uppercase. And then this is for symbols. So contains only symbol. Okay. And so when all this is not the case, then we can throw our else statement. I think initially we say print. Password is strong. It is more than 8 and has all character sets. Okay, so initially I wanted to find a way so that I will not use this simplified stuff, because usually, as much as they make things easier, if you try to implement the algorithm yourself, that is also great. But I couldn't, so I have to fall on the alternative. So let me check if the alternative is right. And here I'll put 8 as I have always done, and then I'll pick 4. Okay, in this case it contains everything, so looks like our check worked. But let me put 8, or no, even 8, and then put only lowercase. Great. So now it says that password contains only lowercase. Let me test it for only numbers, so 9 and then 1, and the password contains only numbers. So that is great. This is also the implementation for the password generator. This is also a little tough, I must say, but that was the goal, to get you to research or search the internet, find ways of doing things. Like, so the first one didn't work, so I have to try an alternative. And that is because I also know that this is also something I can fall on if my initial logic did not work. Okay, so this is for the question 3. I think for the B part, I would like to answer it maybe in a different file, so that will not really cluster the whole place. And so let me create a new file in here. And then Python file. Let me call it week 3B. And let's check the question for week 3B. Or question 2, maybe. It's a guessing game. So the person should guess a number between 1 and 100. And we set a maximum number of allowed guesses, maybe 3 or 5. Depending on how gracious you want to be. And then we use a for loop to get the user input. So it's a game. It's either we quit the game only when the user gets it correct or exhaust all their options. So let's see how we implement something like that also in Python. And so I will go ahead here and say that my secret number, I'll need random, so let me import it. For now, I don't even need random later on. So my secret, that should be, let me choose 50 for now, because I want 1 to 100. And then attempt, and then maximum attempt. I told you that you can create variables on one line like this. So my attempt, I'll set it at 0 for the start because I want to keep track of it, and the maximum attempt to 5. So that is it. And then Python is even suggesting that is true. So I want to check. So as long as my attempt is less than the maximum attempt, I want to take a number from the user. So maybe user guess or something like that. That should be an integer first, and then an input, and then I can say guess a number. No, guess my number. Guess my number. And then I'll allow them to guess. And then when they guess, I want to increase my attempt to yes, attempt plus 1. And then if the user guess is equal to secret, today this is really the autocomplete is really helping me. Congratulations, \n. You got it. You got it. You got it correct. And then I can now say the secret number is, and then I can pass in okay, no, I want it as an F string to secret. Okay, Python will put the F there for me automatically. If you're using a different editor, it may not do that, so be sure you do that. So if the secret number is not that, so if the guess, the user guess in this case, is less than the secret, then we want to print your guess maybe is low. Let's prompt the user to try again. Okay, so if it is not less than the secret, then we will leave that. Else, that means it is not less than the secret. The guess is not less than the secret. So else, we can say here that print your guess is high. Try again. Okay. Now we come to the other logics. Let me see. So if inform the user deduct 1, the deduction, okay, we have not done the deduction. Oh, okay, we have, that is, we are using, we are starting attempts at 0, so we don't have to do deduction as it's saying here. Okay, but if we are supposed to modify the code to meet requirements, then this one too should be 5. And then here we can say while it is not equal to maximum attempt, and then wait, no, while it is not equal to 0, or while attempt is not equal to 0, not maximum attempt. The initial logic was to start from 0 and go back. That the question is saying differently, so we have to modify it as such. Okay, so we deduct, and then if the guess is lower, we inform them. If it is higher, we inform them. Display the number of attempts remaining after each guess. So let's do that one. So here we can say that is, this place is all about the guess. All of these places about the guess. So let's just inform them now. But if that be true, you have to break from here. Because when it is so, we have to break. Other than that, then these things continue. Then we tell them that maybe remaining attempts equal to our maximum attempts minus attempts. or in this case, that should be maximum attempts minus attempts. Yes, I think so. And then we can see here that if the remaining attempt, is greater than 0, then what we want to print is in an F string, you have this remaining attempt left. Other than that, we can say that, so in this case, so else, and then we print, sorry. So that means that the attempt is finished. So sorry, you ran out of attempt. And then here we can say, we have to show the user the secret number that they couldn't get. So print the secret number is, and then we pass in here secret. Okay, so this should do for us. Let's just test our code and see. And then enter number. Let me enter 45. Your guess is low. Try again. And it's saying I have 1 attempt left. That is a bug we have to fix. And so let me say 67. Hi. Because I know this is my third. This is my fourth. My last attempt. And then it says your guess is low. So it didn't actually print this for us. Okay, so we have to, I think there are some things that are confusing us here. Flipping the 5, so now we subtract 1 from it. You have, this place should be attempts. So if attempt, we don't have to even check it. If attempt is greater than 0, we don't need this. Then here we can say attempts. Yes. So once it becomes 0, this block will render. Yes, I think this should be it. So guess a number should be 45. Yes, now I have 4 attempts left. My number is also low. That is correct. 46, 47, 51. That should be higher. Says yes, my guess is high. I type 53. And then it says, sorry, I ran out of attempts. The secret number is 50. So the other implementation I was trying to give where I was calculating the remaining attempt is for when we are counting from 0 up to 5, but the question says we should deduct, so that should be the opposite of what I was thinking about first. But to add even more randomness to this, we can import the random library and say it's random.randint 0 up to 100. So 1 up to 100. So that one, we will not see the number that the computer is guessing. So I don't even know what is it. The number is high, so let me try 45. The number is still high, 35. Oh, wow, I got the number 35, and that is great. If I try it again, I don't think I'll be able to get it. But I should really congratulate myself for getting the computer's number. So 76, low 90, low 99, is high 96. I got it correct. My secret number is 96. So 2 times I've gotten it correct, and you know that I'm not using any bias because I don't know the number it's being generated. So that is it also for this last part of the questions. If you have any question, be sure to drop it in the comments and I'll come back and answer. And so that will be all for today. Thank you for your time. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow with our last session for our 21 days bootcamp. Until tomorrow, it is goodbye for now.